I know I say this like every week, but I promise you I am working on my intro song. I am so busy. Um, Good morning and welcome to the Many Loves Lunch Hour with Mandy here on Split Radio. Um, it is May 9th. Happy belated Mother's Day to whom that applies. I don't gatekeep on Mother's Day. If you feel like it applies to you, then by all means, happy Mother's Day. And my heart is with you. If for some reason Mother's Day's tough, Mother's Day's tough for me too. So yeah, my heart is with you. Why do people feel the need to call me while I'm doing my show? Okay, so today's topic, we're not going to start it yet, but I'm just going to let you know that today's topic is what happens when your kids don't like your partners, which is not ideal, but I promise you that it happens and it sucks. Let me first do a couple little life updates, and then we'll talk about sponsors, and then we'll jump right in. I feel like I look a little washed out today. So I'm sorry if that is the case. I feel a little washed out today. But I don't think that I feel as pale as I look on here. The lighting is weird today though. It's kind of cloudy, and so I had to put a light up for you all to even see me. So let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happened this past week since we last chatted. I was able to take my youngest to go see my absolute favorite artist live on Wednesday. On Tuesday, my youngest turned 16, and Tori Amos was in town on Wednesday night. And so for their birthday, I was able to take them and share my love for Tori Amos with them at the same age that I was when I first saw Tori Amos in concert. So that was really neat. And I got to do it with two people that have been in my life for decades, and who have gone to see Tori Amos with me and experienced that with me before. My friends Di and Tiffany, and Di's girlfriend came with us, and it was incredible to share that experience with them. It was incredible for them to be there when I shared that experience with my 16-year-old. So that was a really, really incredible moment for me this past week. And since we're talking about kids this shows, I figured I would go ahead and share that. So also, what else? So anybody that is neurodivergent or suffers from anxiety knows about doom piles, right? Where we pile everything that doesn't maybe necessarily have a home or that feels a little overwhelming to us. I am a doom piler, and in preparation for something that's coming up this week, I have been working my ass off trying to get through some of these doom piles that I have. And I was able to get through 2 huge doom piles over the weekend, and that's what I did for Mother's Day, and my kids helped, and it was amazing. It's a super big accomplishment for me to get through a doom pile. And if you have them and you suffer with them, you know how big that is. So it was really great. Super proud of myself. 2 doom piles down, 1 to go. So, and hopefully that will be done tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the reason I'm getting through the doom piles is because my long distance partner's coming into town tomorrow. Oh, I'm so excited. I haven't seen him in a few months, and it's going to be great. And he is going to spend a whole week out here with me and my family here. And I'm excited, but I'm anxious. But I'm excited. So that's kind of covering up the anxious part of it is my excitement is. But yeah, I'm anxious too. And one of those reasons that I'm anxious is something that we're going to talk about today. So, so yes, very excited that my long distance partner is coming into town, and then I'm flying out with him next week to Albuquerque and staying out there for the rest of the week. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Okay. Before we jump into the show, let me talk about my sponsors real quick. Let me talk about the people that help make this show, right? That help you all, that help me. First of all, that's One Condoms. One Condoms. If you don't know about One Condoms, go check them out at onecondoms.com. Go check them out at myonecondoms.com, where you can download your personal fit kit to check the size of your junk, make sure you're using the right condom, order the right condom from them. It will change your sex life. Go to, after you download your fit kit, you measure your junk, go to onecondoms.com, use my promo code MANYLOVES, one word, MANYLOVES, for 15% off of your custom size condom order. Also, you guys have heard me mention this before. They are the only FDA approved condom for anal sex. Protect yourself, protect your partner, have safer sex than what you would without one. Also, let's talk about adamandeve.com. Once you got your junk wrapped up, check over to Adam and Eve for all of your bedroom enhancing needs. They sell every kind of toy that you can think of. They sell apparati for your bedroom. They sell lingerie. They sell so much stuff to enhance your bedroom life, or wherever you're doing it, really. And tomorrow, next week on the show, we have a double header for you, a little bit of DP, if you will. Robin and I are going to do a whole 2-hour segment for Masturbation Month. We're going to talk about all things masturbation next week. So that's going to be a super fun show. We love hanging out with Robin from Sex with Robin. And it'll be from noon to 2 on Monday. So check us out. We're also going to highlight our favorite toys from adamandeve.com. So we will be doing that, and we encourage you to join us. And that is that. So the last sponsor I want to talk about is Probably Polly, the podcast where we question everything, even our name. I am a co-host of this fantastic podcast. I don't have any problem bragging on it. It is an incredible podcast. It's filled with tons of information from a very knowledgeable, very academic view, very real life view. Michael Haig and Sarah Lucas co-host this with me. And you can find us on Facebook, but you can also find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts: SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, any of those places. You can stream us and listen. So I highly encourage you to do so. We are recording this weekend, so it's going to be great. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Robin, thank you. I forgot. We'll also play Never Have I Ever masturbation theme. So send us all, whether you send them to me or to Robin, send us your Never Have I Ever questions to answer on the show. Robin and I are going to play Never Have I Ever, and we always encourage you all to join in with us. So I'm telling you, it's going to be so much fun. We're really looking forward to next week's show. So, but this week's show this week's show is focused on us parents us parents who have multiple partners, who we look, why is my hair fuzzy? I don't even know where that is. It's driving me nuts, y'all. Oh, there we go. We are going to focus today on when our kids don't necessarily like our partners, or they have a falling out with our partners. It's kids who have parents that are non-monogamous or that are polyamorous, in my case, and in many cases, that's really one of the only times that we introduce our kids to our partners. We're not necessarily going to introduce our kids to our partners that we're just physical with, or that are friends with benefits, maybe. I'm talking more along the lines of partners that you would introduce your kids to, partners that you have relationships with that would involve your family, that maybe would involve other partners, but especially today, would involve them meeting your kids or them having some type of relationship with your children. And first, we're going to talk about when you first start dating a partner. Before we do that, I always forget this. I need to put like a sticky note somewhere so I remember this. But you all know that's not going to work because I forget every fucking thing. As always, your questions, comments, and critique are so welcome and highly encouraged. I cannot make this show without you, or it would be boring as fuck to just sit here and listen to me talk for an hour. So please feel free and highly encourage you to message me with your comments, with your questions, with your stories of how, difficulties that your kids may have had with your partners, or stories that you know of. Or for, some people who have parents that are ethically non-monogamous or polyamorous. I would love to hear your take on your relationships with their partners. I have, as I've stated before, I have 3 offspring. They're not kids anymore. I have a 25-year-old that is married and out of the house and has his own child, who is 2 and has just recently started saying bubby. That's what I am. I'm his bubby. They have a monogamous relationship for all intents and purposes. And then I have a 17-year-old who still lives at home and is a junior in high school. And then I have a 16-year-old that is a sophomore in high school who also lives at home. So whereas my oldest has a little more control of what partners he interacts with, my 2 younger ones don't have as much control over that because they do live at home. I do give them as much autonomy as possible, for sure. And that's something that I encourage you to do, and will make your kids a lot more comfortable with your partners, not forcing them to be, around them if at all possible. I know that I had the luxury of being able to do that because they're older. When they were much younger, of course, if I wanted to see my partner when my children were home, they were there. So it was a little more complicated. So let's first talk about um when you start dating someone or when you start seeing someone and off the bat, like out the gate, your kids are like, no, thank you. And it's not no thank you to um ethical non-monogamy. It's no thank you to particular people. Um I had a partner when my oldest was much younger who oh, I laughed and the whole table shook. I'm sorry. Um, who who bit his dog. This man bit my child's dog um because um because he was showing him who was dominant between him and the dog, so he bit the dog. Um, as opposed to the dog biting him first, I guess. I don't really remember, but I remember my son telling me who and my oldest was probably 13 at the time. He was like, "Don't bring that fucker around here again." He was not okay with him. He was like, "Yeah, that don't bring him back around. I don't want to be here if he comes to the house again. Please let me know." Um, I see Robin says this also applies to mono single parents dating. Yes, it does for sure. As we always say, a lot of the stuff that we talk about, not all of it, of course, but a lot of the stuff that we talk about here on the show is applicable to monogamous relationships as well. Or single people that are dating monogamously, it 100% translates to monogamous relationships as well. Thank you, Robin. um so yeah, my oldest had no desire to be around this man again, and it was simply because he bit his dog. It's so funny. I'm not going to go into the details, but if you want to contact me to hear the rest of the story. Oh, it was so funny. I'll never forget that. And that was the first night he met him. So my oldest was like, "No, fuck this. Like, don't I don't want to be around this guy. Don't bring this guy around anymore, mom." Um, and I want to say the oldest, that's the only one that I brought home to meet my kids that he ever had a problem with off the bat. Um, there's my kids are fairly open-minded. So and accepting. They're open-minded and accepting of different people, different, uh it's so funny, Robin. um yeah, so they're super accepting of my partners and my the way that I relationship. So they always are pretty open-minded at the beginning of me seeing someone until there's reason to not be okay with them. So um one of the ways that you can kind of ease your kids into um well, hello, Franklin. One of the ways, welcome to the show, Franklin. One of the ways that you can ease your kids into getting to know your partners so they're not just right off the bat shut down about it, um, is a little time here and a little time there. Like, invite your partner to dinner with your family. Invite, go do a park outing, maybe outside of the house. Limit the time to begin with so they're not like forced to spend great amounts of time with this person, and they can ease into it. One of the things that I encourage especially if you have teenagers, is when you invite a new partner over to the house, allow your kids to go to their rooms. Allow your kids to check out from, you know, from you having somebody over watching a movie or eating dinner. Don't force the connection because they are going to buck immediately at that a lot of times. Um and if they straight just don't fucking like them, you really have to evaluate, right? You have to go, "Hey, sit your kids down. Find out what it is they don't like about them." Maybe they're seeing something, maybe your kids are seeing something that you aren't, because NRE, right? We get caught up in NRE, and when we have rose-colored glasses on, we can't see red flags. So you can't differentiate flags, right? So you ask your kids, what is it that you see that maybe I'm not seeing? What is do you see an issue with, this person? What is it that you don't like about them? Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe they thought that somebody said something that they didn't really say, or maybe um if it's something, your kids don't like the type of pants that they wear. So find out. Our kids are really receptive, y'all. Our kids are not stupid, and they will see things that we don't see. Listen to your kids. Um, if it's something along the lines of, there's a lot of times where kids won't like new partners because maybe they feel like that they're going to lose another one of your partners. Maybe they think, I know that for it was when this isn't my kid, this is my parent, but I know that when um I was with my nesting partner that I have now, he and I had been together for a couple years. And I started seeing someone pretty regularly, and I brought them to my mom's for all of us to like come, like have like a dinner. And then when we left, my mom called and was like I really like the new guy, the new partner, but I also really like Jerry. Oh, I said his name. I also really like your nesting partner. Um, and I was like, "Mom, he's not going anywhere. It's okay. It's okay for you to like the new person, and it's okay for me to bring the new person around. My nesting partner is not going anywhere. Don't worry. He'll still be here. He's not going anywhere. Nothing's happening with us." And so sometimes I say that because sometimes our kids need that reassurance, especially if they're younger. They need that, hey, it's okay for me to like another one of your partners because I know that this partner's not going anywhere. Does that make sense? They just need some reassurance that they're not going to lose something just because they accept something else. Um, let's see. Robin says, we watched Freaky Friday. Oh, the Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, the old one, y'all. This weekend, and I love the stepdad in the story. He doesn't push, and he wants the kids to like him and get to know him on their terms. Exactly. That's big. Like, let your kids have as much autonomy as possible, and they'll be more receptive if they're not being forced into a situation. Um, the other thing that, well, first let's talk about, so there's a couple different things that come into play here when we're talking about our kids with partners. And one of the things I kind of touched on is their age, right? Um, younger kids may buck new partners because they don't understand. They may buck new partners because they feel like they're going to lose another partner. They may buck new partners because they smell funny. Younger kids, have their own reasonings, and find out what they are. Sit your kids down and talk to them. If they don't have solid reasons for not liking them, there may be some underlying issues that you want to talk to your kids about. Most kids, there are some kids out there, but most kids don't just not fucking like somebody to not like somebody. They've got reasons. So listen to your kids. Let's see. Robin says, "Oh yeah, and liking another partner isn't a betrayal to a current partner of yours. You don't have to pick one, and looking one doesn't and liking one doesn't minimize your love for another. Platonic poly love. LOL. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But kids will be, kids are concerned. Kids think, well, that if I start to like this one, then because kids are taught jealousy, right? They're taught jealousy by the media, by movies, by TV shows. They're taught to be jealous because of this monogamous heteronormative society that we live in. So they think that they need to be jealous, or that the partners are going to be jealous. So they're taught that, and they will respond accordingly until we unteach that, until we teach them that that's not the case. And it doesn't have to happen like that. Another thing that comes into play. Oh, so older kids, right? Sorry, y'all, I'm jumping around today for some reason. So older kids, so we've got the younger kids, listen to them, talk to them. Older kids, they have their own shit going on, right? Like our older kids have their own relationships, and they have sports, and they have clubs, and they have fucking high school, which is stressful enough, y'all. So they have their own shit going on top of having to deal with their parent dating. Ew. Most teenagers don't even want to think about their parent dating. If you're not trying to force your partner on, like, to intermingle with the teenagers, in my experience, they're not going to give a shit. And if they do, there is a valid reason that they don't give a shit, and 100% listen to your kids. 100% listen to your kids. Something else that comes into play is also what type of dynamic you have with said new partner. Is this partner going to be in the home? Is this partner going to be around your kids a significant amount of time? Because if this is just like a friends with benefits partner, your kids don't have to like them, right? Your kids, you don't have to bring them around. You can, especially if your kids are older, you can go out and date this person, or you can go to this person's house. You can wait till your kids aren't home. I was lucky and unlucky enough to be divorced from my children's father. So he had, when they were littler, he had them every other weekend. That was helpful in dating, not gonna lie. There are some bonuses to being divorced, right? There are some bonuses to co-parenting with a parent that doesn't live in your home. Um, let's be real, right? It sucks. It sucks for the kids. Split families, it fucking sucks. But there are some positives to that. Um, you can date when your kids are at your ex's house. You you can date when your kids are spending the night with grandma. You if it's not a partner that you are planning to cohabitate with, or someone who you're looking to have as a more involved partner, and your kids don't like them, just see them when your kids aren't around. um See them outside of the home if it's a possibility. Don't force your partners on your kids. um so the dynamic, it matters, right? Because if um I just lost my train of thought, y'all. If it's somebody who is going to be more involved, who's going, who maybe you're thinking about becoming, nesting partners, or something along that line, um, you're gonna want to do whatever you can to facilitate a good relationship between your kids and your partner. And in doing that, don't push. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. Don't push. Um, then, so we talked about what happens when kids don't like them from the start. Which, like I said, I don't have much experience with. I do have friends that have had that, had that happen. I have had my kids think somebody was a goober. I've had my kids think somebody was nerdy. I've had but it's all in a very sweet and fun way. It's not, "Oh my god, I don't fucking like this person." The only time that's happened was with the guy that bit my kid's dog. So it but what I have had experience with is when my kids did like somebody at the beginning, and for some reason the relationship went south. And maybe it had to do with you, and maybe it didn't have to do with you. If for some reason you start cohabitating with a partner and they think that they're going to be a co-parent right from the beginning, so you have dated them and they have been awesome, and you guys have been dating for a year, and I'm not setting time frames, I'm just being hypothetical here. And you decide to have them move in, and said partner says, "Okay, great, well, we're gonna co-parent now," and starts like demanding shit of your kids, or telling them what they can and can't do. Like, this is a new realm for them, and I can absolutely understand some hesitation from them. So maybe talk to your partner, have them step back a little bit. Just because you're cohabitating does not mean you're nesting, and it does not mean you're co-parenting. These three things are not exclusive to each other. They can happen completely separately. You can co-parent with someone and they don't live with you. You can cohabitate with someone and they are not co-parenting and they're not nesting. Remember, we've talked about this before, that nesting and cohabitating are two different things. So, just because somebody lives under the same roof with you does not mean they are nesting with you, and does not mean that they're necessarily co-parenting with you. So, make sure that if and when you move in together, that's clearly stated. Those boundaries are clearly stated, and where you are. They can always be fluid, right? We can always move in and out of them, but it's better for the kids if you either pick one and stay with it, or you pick one and then gradually move to this one, right? My oldest has had some problems with partners that I have nested with who have tried to tell him what to do. Didn't care for that. My younger two have not really had many problems with that, that I know of. Nothing that they've brought to me. What they tend to have a problem with is getting attached to someone and that someone leaving. Case in point, this is a good example for for something happening and changing their perspective of your partner, and then they don't care for your partner. My long distance partner that's coming in, I told you guys this was going to come back. I told you we were going to rope back to this. My previously, we previously nested together. We previously co-parented together. He lives in Albuquerque now. Moved out there a couple years ago now. I guess it's been almost 3 years he moved out there, and didn't leave things on a great note when he left. Of course, we have built back up to where we are now. He and I have been building back up to where we are now, long distance wise, and we see each other. We go. I've gone out to Albuquerque a couple times. This is the first time that he's coming here again. So the first time he's coming home to see the kids again, and my other nesting partner who was affected by him leaving as well. And the kids and it's been dicey. It's been really dicey because when he left us all, right? Because they were kids, they were younger. They were much younger than they are now, right? They're 3 years younger, which is huge in kid years, right? Like there's not much difference between 40 and 43, but there's a big difference between 16 and 13. Let's be real. Like my youngest was 13 when he left, and they were very attached to him, and were heartbroken when he left. They were just devastated, and it took them a long time to even want to talk about it. And over the years have started talking to him again, started to let him back into their lives a little bit. But they're nervous about him coming. Like they're really excited to see him, but really nervous about him coming in and staying here for a week, which is, he's nervous. So, and your kids are protective of you, right? So if one of your partners hurts you, they get, they buck up, right? If figuratively or physically. Literally they'll buck up. And my kids are no different. My kids are super protective of me. So I have had partners hurt me in the past, and they're like, fuck them, gone, right? And they don't want anything to do with them then. It doesn't matter if I forgive them or not. It doesn't matter if I want to continue having a relationship with them. My kids are done with them because they've hurt me, right? Which brings up a good point. It's super important how much of your relationship you share with your kids. Super important. They're not your besties. They're not your besties. Don't share your fights. Don't share your issues. They're not your besties. They're going to pick up and they're going to ask questions, answer their questions, but know that they don't get all the information. And they're not going to understand all the information even if you did give it to them. Even if they're adults, they're not going to understand all the information because they were not there and they weren't part of that. So, just be careful about what you share with your kids. My kids are super receptive. My kids, like, they're super perceptive. Sorry, wrong word. My kids are super perceptive. And they pick up on everything. They pick up on everything and then they question me about it. And so I answer as many questions as I can, as many questions as I'm comfortable with. And I do try to protect all parties involved. When it came to my nesting partner leaving 3 years ago, of course, it was, there was no way to protect them from that. They don't know all the ins and outs of our relationship, and they don't know, all of the reasons he left. And of course, they didn't know why he left at the beginning. All they knew was that he left them. And so they were all really hurt about it. So it's hard, it's going to be difficult it's probably going to be a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I think I'm convincing myself. It's good. And if he's listening, I'm convincing my partner as well. So, if your kids don't respond well, if your kids say, no, this person's hurt you, this person's hurt me, I don't want him or her back in my fucking life. So what happens then? What happens when you have to choose between your partner and having that relationship with your partner and your kids? Because people are there. People are in this predicament all the time. I was in it not too long ago in regards to another partner. I had another partner that I used to have a very involved relationship with. My oldest again. This involves him again. He recently contacted me. And we started talking and kind of catching up. We hadn't talked to each other in decades. But there's a lot of trauma there for my oldest son in regard to this person. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of fucking issues that he has today because of this relationship. And when I went to him about it and I said, hey, this person had texted me and we've been talking. His response was not okay. His response was, Mom, I love you and I support you in all the things that you want to do in life. I love you and I support your non-monogamy. I have always supported you in that. But basically, and I'm probably quoting my oldest here when I say this, he said, "Do not bring that motherfucker back into my life." He didn't mince words. He doesn't want this person in his life again. And I have to respect that. I have to respect that. Not only do I have to respect that, but I have to sit back and assess what a relationship with this person would look like without my family involved, without my kids involved. If you know me at all, if you know me personally, if you have listened to my show, if you've listened to the podcast, you all know that my kids are a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life. Probably more so than most people. I admit this. And so I have to sit back and I have to assess what a relationship with this person would look like, knowing how much pain and how much hurt and how much that relationship affected, and the end of that relationship affected my son. Yeah. So I've had to reflect on that, and I've had to reflect on that for a couple weeks now. The conversation happened a few weeks ago. And I can't, as much as I would love to reconnect with this person, I don't see that connection being able to happen if I can't discuss my kids with him, and if I can't be honest with him, and if I can't talk about my grandson with him, and I can't, like, it's not the type of relationship that I want. I can't have this person back in my life knowing how much he's hurt my son. And I guess I didn't realize how incredibly hard it would be for my son to even hear that this person had contacted me again. So, yeah, I had to shut it down. Oh, thank you, Robin. Robin says, "So much love for you, Mandy. I know you're doing everything you can to navigate this tough situation. You're amazing." I love you too, Robin. And it's been hard. It's been really fucking hard. And not something that's my naivety, is I didn't foresee that coming. I didn't foresee him exploding, and having as many feels as he did about it. And I know that now. And yeah, I just can't bring that back into his life, or in turn bring it back into my life. So Robin says, "Heavy topic warning. I remember crying and begging my mom not to marry a man right before she walked down the aisle." Honey. He was an abusive piece of shit, and it was a very complicated dynamic. I feel for my mom, and she had to deal with that. And they won't ever put the whole fucking comment up here. She has regrets now, but I know I really struggled with how to communicate in a healthy way when it was an unhealthy situation and I was a young teen. Question: did your mom know he was an abusive piece of shit? Was he abusing you, or was he abusing your mom? And I hate that your mom didn't listen to you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that your mom didn't give you space at that time, and hear you. I'm so sorry for that. Um, Other instances, um, where I have been hurt or I have been abused, um, and my kids have found out or they've been privy to the information. um I'm really, and I'm not comparing myself to your mom whatsoever, Robin. And I know this was years ago, and your mom is much more open to hearing things now, and a much smarter woman, because we are all so much smarter in our older years. I know that I am. But yeah, I'm really careful to listen to my kids when they say something about a partner, when they voice a concern, when they bring something up, because they're seeing something that maybe I'm not seeing. Again, I want to bring up NRE. You can't differentiate red flags between the rest of them. If you've got rose-colored glasses on, you can't see red flags when you're in NRE. But your kids can, and your friends can, and your other partners can. So listen to them if they have valid concerns. If they bring concerns to you, listen to them. It's important. They know so much more. Our kids know so much more than we give them credit for. I mean, and you all knew how this was going to go today, right? You all knew that I was going to say, listen to your kids, because, and I don't know if it's because my kids play such an important role in my life. But they're so fucking smart. Like, and not just my kids in general, they get it. They see things we don't, and we have to listen to them. That is my my line for the day. Kids see shit we don't, and we have to listen to them. Hear your kids. Let them talk to you. Let them tell you what they see. Yeah. And if it's because they wear a dumb shirt and that's their reasoning, ask them. Ask them more, because I bet that there's something else under there. I bet there's another reason that they're having trouble communicating. Maybe they don't have the words for it. Ask them. Try to see what you can get out of it. Robin says, as a teen, it probably came out looking more like a rebellious teen that hated this guy. I can understand that. He was more aggressive, physically abusive toward my sister and I, and more emotionally abusive towards my mom. He did the worst when she wasn't around. So when I told her, she would say I was exaggerating, and that things can get better, and that all the things that abused people tell themselves and tell others, right? That sucks, Robin. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. And thank you so much for sharing that. That's tough. That's tough to do. It's tough to share. It's tough to say out loud. And I know, because I know Robin personally, that she has worked through this with her mom and forgives her, but we don't forget, right? It doesn't matter how much we forgive somebody, we don't forget. So keep that in mind. When you don't listen to your kids, they're not going to forget it. They may forgive you, but they're not going to forget it. And it takes a lot to come back from it. So, make sure you do listen to your kids. And that's it. That's where I'm going to stop. Listen to your fucking kids. They're smarter than you think. Don't let your partners bite their dogs. That's all I got for you. If there's something that we didn't cover on this topic, please feel free to hit me up in the comments after the live is over. If you missed any part of this, we're going to replay it at 9 p.m. And you can also find this on YouTube, and I think we're on Spotify now too. I think that's what Robin told me. I don't remember where else. She's so much better at this than I am. We're somewhere else now. You can find us all over the place. Split Radio is growing, y'all. It's growing. Oh, let's see. Robin says, to end in a positive note, what you said, he's long gone. At 18, I calmly told him how toxic he was to our family and that we were better off without him, and he left. Take that, fucker. Oh, I was right. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And if you want to see us or hear us somewhere else, let us know. We bitches aren't mind readers. Let us know. Let us know if you want to see us somewhere else besides these places and Facebook. Yeah, that's it. These places and Facebook right now. That's all we are. Okay. Gonna remind you all about next week's show because it's going to be so big and it's going to be so fun. And it's masturbation month still. I love masturbation month. Get your masturbation on. Love yourself. And if you can't figure out your needs by yourself, it's hard to figure out with a partner. It's much easier to figure it out on your own. Explore your body. Your body is yours. Explore it as you will. Or how you want. How you want, how you will, whatever you want. Don't do it in public. Do it in the privacy of your own home, in your own bedroom if you live with people. But happy masturbation month nonetheless. And because of masturbation month, like I said, next week, double penetration from Robin and I. She fucking loves it when I say that. We will be double penetrating you for 2 hours. That would be your left ear and your right ear. Double penetrating you in these 2 ears for 2 hours next Monday. Here on Split Radio. I can't wait. We're going to play Never Have I Ever. We're going to talk about our favorite masturbatory aids. We are going to talk about our most embarrassing masturbatory, I don't even know that that's a word. Am I even saying that right? Stories. We are going to talk about do's. We're going to talk about don'ts. We're going to talk about all kind of shit. Everything masturbation. Next week on Monday here on Split Radio at noon. So join us. You can listen on in Robin's group. You can listen in my group. You'll be able to listen on the Split Radio page and live on YouTube. And then we will have the recordings available for you on the other platforms after that. So really hope you guys can join us. I really hope that you all can join us and join in on the conversations. No pressure, because masturbation is a private matter for some people. So not for Robin and I. We love to talk about it. So, and it's your lucky day because of that. All right. Until next week, I will miss you, but I will be busy because the partner's coming in. But stay tuned. Next hour, Robin is... I don't fucking know what Robin's talking about. I never know what Robin's talking about. Hold on and I'll tell you what Robin's talking about. I lied. I'm not going to tell you what Robin's talking about. Well, you know what? Go over to Robin's page and find out what Robin's talking about. Join her in the next hour with Sex with Robin on Split Radio. Till next week, take care, my many loves. Bye-bye.